tell you a little bit as well about the rest of the places here, Robert. Now.
So you don't necessarily have to look at me. You can look at
No,
this.
yeah.
And what I can be doing is I can be just taking video of
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
So
Well,
when did you come here?
When did I
move here?
Well, my mother moved. My mother had this room, this front room here. In 1949, she had the room. Now, I'm not sure when they got it. Probably they got it when they got married. So I was born on the 8th of May, 1942. And this is where she took me to live. She brought me here to 59 Blessington Street. And we had just this one room here in the front. And she had 4 children. Stephen's Green Loan Fund.
That was the place next door.
That was called the Stephen's Green Loan Fund. And that was next door to us here.
And the milk bar was across the street.
The milk bar was there. When you looked out the window, you could see the milk bar. And people would walk home at night and they'd go into the milk bar. And they'd get maybe a sandwich and just a bottle of milk or, you know, things like that. Before that, my mother moved in. It was in 1942 that my mother was here.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I said 1949, I'm not sure. But it was in 1942 because I was born in 1942. And then we left here in 1949.
Because we're only here for 7 years in total.
So we were here for 7 years. And then we moved to Cabra in 1949. On the 31st of October 1949. We moved from here. I always remember this coming out. And my sister crying, Sadie was crying because she didn't want to leave.
This is the spot
We
you
didn't want to leave because we were happy here. We didn't know there was any other life anyway, you know. So we were very happy, and I remember Sadie really crying. She was really very sad about leaving. But
at the end of the day, it was for the best.
Lovely going. Everything about this is the same that I remember.
It was the same as it was.
Yeah, that's all the same. All that's the same.
Wow.
And there was a hall in the back. When you went in here, there was a hall there, and then there was a door into this, and then there was another door into the back. And what you call the other part that was the front parlour, and the other one was the back parlour. That's what the people called it. And then you went down steps, and when you went down the steps, you went out to a yard, and that's where the toilet was for everyone in the yard.
And it was just a communal toilet for everybody.
Well, nice. When my mother had Sadie, that was my second sister, she used to put Sadie into the pram, and she'd tie the pram with a tie, one of my father's ties. She'd tie it to the railings, and she'd tell me to sit on the step and to mind Sadie till she got ready. So I'd sit here and I'd look at everyone going up and down, and I'd keep an eye on the pram. No, I was probably only about 3 or 4 babies. These houses were always here when I was a little girl, and this is where we'd walk up to the basin because to us it was great. I mean, you were going to a park, you know, and it was great for my mother because she could bring us up, and we could have a run around because we only lived in the one room, so there was nowhere to run or to play. And when we come up here, then it was like heaven. It was because you could run around and shout and jump, and there was always people up here because nobody had anywhere to bring the children. No money, and so this was great. That was a duck place there, that's what you call it. that wasn't there, of course, when we were here because they have improved all this so much. You can see there in 93 and 94 it was opened. This is where I'd come and my mother walked up here with the pram. I think there was somewhere up here you could sit down and you could look into the duck pond. But this was heaven, it was, just being able to play up here. I didn't know there was any other life except living in one room. And look at that, isn't that lovely? And this is where we would come and there's those things that's growing in the house beside me. I never saw them before. They're there as well. And look at the lilies here that I have grown in my garden. Now look, this is where we would sit. Look, that's what I told you about. Look, this is where we sat.
So
she lived in number 7 Ector Street. I'm not sure how long she lived here for. I'm not sure of that. But I know she lived in the basement in number 7 Ector Street, the James Joyce house that James Joyce associated with. And down in the basement she had like a little yard in front of the window, and she had geraniums everywhere. Everywhere you looked she had geraniums, all colours. At the time I didn't know they were called geraniums, but I always remember the smell of them. And every time I smell geraniums I think of my granny. This is Garniston School, and this is where I started school in, I feel it was 1947. It was either 46 or 47, and I left here in 1949 when we moved to Cabra. That my Uncle Paddy lived in, and they were the Winstons. And when they did the thing on the television about the tenements, it was my Uncle Paddy's brother's children that were in the house at the time.
I watched that.
Yeah, and that was very good. It was Brian Murray presented that.
Now I only seen the first part of it.
No, it was very good, it really was. But they lived up, I think they lived on this side of the road. I know they lived up, I'm not sure which house it was they lived in. And he was married to Paddy Winston was married to my mother's sister called Kathleen. So that's the association I have with here. It's that was that family that lived here, the Winstons. This is 14 is over here on the opposite side. I know it was this side, Robert, but I'm not sure which one. Look at that building there too.
That's the King's Inn.
Yeah, it's beautiful. I'm not sure, the one at the bottom here, I'm not sure what that is. I must have a look at that below. You know, we were so lucky with the day. The day was beautiful. It was like, you know, everything was gorgeous about it. Really. Who do you think you are now, David Lee?
Underlined. Any person who tampers with anything or who is not resident in this house will be prosecuted by law. We think that the caretaker or maybe a householder would have written that on the wall, because these. As a kitchen.
That's right,
Yeah, the big kitchen.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I lived in a tenement.
Did she match hatches with snatches, they say?
Oh, well.
It was always the one who did that.
Yeah, she always This is where my Uncle Paddy lived, in number 7 Henrietta Street. He was married to my mummy's sister Kathleen, and his family all lived here. And his brother was Frank, and it was Frank's children that did a series called The Tenements from number 7 Henrietta Street. So we've gone a lovely tour today. I've been with my lovely son Robert. And we've had a lovely day. I hope this lasts forever.